Sam, do you think we're going to see any changes to the architecture of big buildings significantly in the future?
Yes, partly to do with this. But I mean, where it's driving the concept schemes we're working on is positively is a hell of a lot more interest in passive design. There's a lot more interest in orientation, the envelope itself, the efficiency and scale of the envelope. We internally are designing more like that. The external teams we employ, we are encouraging and pushing on that basis. And the truth is money talks, and a lot of that is driven by keeping the energy bills down to make the future buildings competitive with current tenant options in high energy consuming buildings which drive high bills. And the best way to do that is obviously understand your site, understand the constraints, and work the passive design. And I think we're going to see a lot more passively designed buildings, and a lot more emphasis on orientation, efficiency of the proportion of envelope to footprint, etc. Whether that's housing or otherwise, because we simply can't get into things like acoustic vents because they're just not affordable. They're too space hungry. We can't afford to build those anymore. We can't afford to build cooling systems. We can in the short term, but they're not going to. That's just not going to be possible in a couple of years, because you're going to end up driving residential build costs past the £250 a square foot mark, and that just means we won't build anything. We're already creaking on schemes like that. And unless there is a massive correction in land values, that isn't going to happen. So passive design is the one way open to all parties, which will start to reduce the dependency on technologies, whether it's MEP systems, advanced technological windows and venting systems. So all the focus we have is on that, because that's the only way that we'll actually hit square foot prices, which mean we can deliver schemes. Which is a conundrum, because gone are the days of cheap debt for housing associations, councils, etc., who were dependent on government bonds, which no longer exist post September of this year. So I think we're going to see the market forces driving passive design in a big way, and the buildings will look very different as a result.